completed. Today lessons, what are the lessons are there? You read out. Is it audible? Vasavi, is it audible or not? Hello?
Yes, sir. See time of Indian nationalism, sir.
See, read out the lessons. What lessons we completed yesterday? See, hello, read out the lessons first. Headings of the unit.
Indian national movement early phase.
Next.
Growth of militant nationalism.
Next.
Rise of Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha. Constitutional reforms.
Today up to rise of Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha. Up to that, how many units? That one. The rise of Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha. Unit number?
Unit 5, sir.
Unit 5?
Yes, sir.
Unit 5. Yesterday, we finished the socio-religious reform movement and regional organizations and emergence of Indian National Congress. We finished, no?
Yes, sir.
3 units we finished or 2 units?
3, sir.
How many units we finished yesterday?
3 units, sir.
Tell me.
3 units.
Emergence of Indian National Congress is 3rd unit?
Yes, sir.
Next one is that the moderate phase, early in the phase of the Indian National Congress is 4th unit or same unit? Hello?
Moderate phase is 3.2, sir.
3
British officials' attitude towards Congress.
Not 3.2, 3. Unit number 3 or 4, 5, like that. 0.2, 0.1, it is not. Unit number 3. It is early phase of moderates, no? Hello? It is
yes,
early
sir. Indian
phase
National Movement early phase.
What?
Indian National Movement early phase, sir.
Early phase is unit number 3, no?
3. Yes, sir.
Then unit number 4 is the Muslim League, militant nationalism, no? Unit number 4 is militant nationalism. Unit number
yes,
5
of
is
militant nationalism.
Growth of militant nationalism is unit number 4, right? Unit number 5 is rise of Muslim League and Hindu Mahasabha. Up to this, we are going to discuss today. So now, early phase of Indian National Congress. This I am starting. So already we discussed the socio-religious reform movement. So the socio-religious reform movement, what? Given to the Indians. Socio-religious reform movement given to the Indians, the self-respect, self-reliance, or self-confidence is provided, and also removed some social evils like sati practice and widow remarriage acts or came. So that is way social, women education, and age of child age is increased, age of consent. So these are the some of the evils they were trying to avoid. And anyway, this socio-religious movement, it given a confidence among the Indians because Divya Gyan Samaj is established here by Annie Besant, so that the foreigners are praising the Indian religion, so that the Indian religion is no way inferior. Indians are no way inferior. So that is way a self-confidence developed due to the socio-religious movement. Then second unit is that regional associations. Regional association for every region. There was a emergence of regional association, Madras Mahajana Sabha, Bombay Presidency Association, Bengal Landlords Association, then the Bengal Presidency Association, then Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, then next one is that Indian Association by Surendranath Banerjee. At last, Indian National Congress is emerged in 1885 under the efforts of Dufferin Viceroy and also Heo Yung and Indian intellectuals of the then were also gathered under the Heo Yung secretaryship. So that is why in 1885 at Bombay, Indian National Congress is emerged. Now the early phase, third unit is that early phase of the Indian National Congress is from 1885 to 1905. That is the early phase of the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress is emerged in the year 1885. 85 to 1905 means how many years it is? 20 years. 20 years period. What they did is that Indian National Congress in each and every year they conducted its nation level conferences and educating the people and bringing the people into this organization, educate the people into the bringing awareness among the people and bringing the people of all India into this organization thus, and also the representation, giving to the representation in 3 days conference in the month of December. Indian National Congress 3 days conference represented the issues of the Indians to the British authorities. The first one is praising the British rule. British rule is a providential, God-given rule. And British rule is a God-given because English education is introduced here. So that English rule is a great rule that way. Great way, English rule, praised and expressed loyalty of the Congress to the British rulers, and also asked the increasing of Indian representatives, increasing why you are see why you are not unable to understand? Tell me. So it is easy. Early National Congress is the what in 20 years what it has done is that first one it has so expressed loyalty in this conference. First conference was held at Bombay in the 1885. Second conference was held at the Calcutta. Third conference was held at Madras. And in this way, in all over India, the Indian National Congress conferences are conducted. And in these conferences, the resolutions are passed. What are the resolutions? Resolutions are passed and put in front of the British authorities. What are the resolutions are passed in these conferences? In the month of December, Indian National Congress conferences, last 3 days conferences, is that resolutions are expressing loyalty to the British rulers, British Queen or British rulers, British government. British rule is a providential, God-given rule expressing Indian loyalty to the British. Next one, asking the Britishers to the share in the administrative ICS jobs. IAS jobs should be given to the Indians. So, and also representative institutions like democratic institutions, as Indians should take into the Viceroy's Executive Council and also Governors Executive Council, Indian representatives, and other grievances as of the Indians, local grievances also represented. These are the representation through the constitutional method, begging method. The Indian National Congress organization is represented resolutions in front of the authorities. And also not only that side, other side is that Indian National Congress increasing its membership of Congress throughout India, many provincial level, district level, and even all India level. The educators of India, English educated of Indians are participated in the meetings or conferences by taking membership. Thus, Indian National Congress, in the beginning, it was started only with the 12 members, but now it is increased its strength all over India. Its organizations were established, and where in the provinces, and also in the district, and also in the talukas, and also at all the level, mandal, village level, up to the grassroots level, the organization was spread, and this was done. The other side, thus Congress slowly became a upper middle class organization. In the beginning, only upper middle class are joined, but in the course of the period, many educated middle classes are joined in the Congress, Indian National Congress. So they represented the issues of them to the authorities, that this 20 years constitutional method, begging method, asked the British authorities to increase Indian members in the representative institution, democratic form of government to introduce in India, like British Parliament. Like this, they urged and submitted petitions in a constitutional method. This Indian National Congress is established for the safety value. Safety means safe of the British rule. Whatever grievances are there, means whatever the antagonism developed among the Indians against the British rule, that too taken into account and introduce the remove that grievances. That was the aim of the Britishers. But Indian National Congress aim is to popularize the organization and throughout India and increase its membership, and it became a all India organization. That was the aim of Indian National Congress these 20 years. What was the work of moderates? This is called moderate. Moderate means not bomb method, not gun method. It is a constitutional begging method followed. Begging method followed, so that it is called moderate. 20 years moderate phase. In this 20 years, moderates are asked many things to the British authorities. Every session, the first session at Bombay, second session at Calcutta, third session at Madras. All these sessions were the facilities of these sessions, food and everything for these people is provided by government authorities. Later on, from Madras session onwards, Lord Dufferin is criticizing the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress is organization of the Bengali Babus, disloyal, disaffected Bengali Brahmin organization, in no way represented the all Indian masses. So this is way Indian National Congress, when it was increasing its demand to give share to the Indians, year after year, it becoming a big organization, increasing its strength and forcibly asking in a constitutional method, begging method, forcefully asking the British authorities to give this and give that way, forcibly asking. So when it was forcibly asking, though constitutional method or begging method, so they, in spite of it, they did not given any concession except in the 20 years they asked, but in 20 years they are introduced only 1861 Councils Act. Some representatives of Indians are taken into Executive Council of Viceroy and Executive Council of the Governor. And also 1892 Councils Act, some Indian representative, Indian members were taken to the at provincial level, at central level. This was only achieved 20 years, like frogs. Every season, rainy season, like frogs, they roared in front of British authorities through their resolutions. But in spite of their roaring petitions, they did not given much. So that is the reason. The 20 years work of the Indian National Congress, they were disappointed. So that young members of the Indian National Congress, Lala Lajpat Rai, Balagangadhar Tilak, yes, Balagangadhar Tilak from Maharashtra, Lala Lajpat Rai from the Punjab, Ajit Singh from the Punjab, Bipin Chandra Pal from the Bengal, Arvind Ghosh from the Bengal. These young people were dissatisfied, discontent of this begging method. They are choosing a new method. What was the new method? Militant nationalism. What is growth of militant nationalism? Why? Why the growth of militant nationalism is occurred? So the causes for the growth of militant nationalism is most important cause is that 20 years they begged and so put up petition in front of the authorities, nothing given. That is most important cause for the growth of militant nationalism, militant Congress attitude. And another one is that, see, the other side, what the British authorities are, when the Congress becoming a all India organization, increasing its strength, and many members participating in meetings, and by fearing that, frightened by seeing this, they encouraged Muslim League leader Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and not to join into the Indian National Congress. Thus, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan took the decision against the Indian National Congress and urged all the Muslims not to join into the Indian National Congress. Indian National Congress is demanding representative, responsible government. Representative government means who are the majority. Majority people rule. Majority people rule means Hindu rule, Indians rule, Hindu rule will come. So that is way. He asked all the Muslims not to join into the Congress, and all the Muslims should become pro-government. Thus, to support the government, they can get the licenses, they can get the reservation jobs, and they can get the favoritism that way. The Anglo Oriental College, Muslim League College, University, later it became Muslim Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, with influence of the Beck, other English principals. Sir Syed Ahmad Khan asked the Muslim not to join into the Congress, and all Muslims should support the government. So this way, divide and rule policy. Divide and rule policy followed. Then next one is that here Britishers are followed. In the beginning, war and conquest policy, waging war and conquered India by Warren Hastings, Cornwallis. Then Wellesley introduced subsidiary alliance, subordinating all the rulers, subsidiary alliance system. Then this Dalhousie introduced the maladministration and doctrine of lapse, third method to conquer Indian territories, third method used. The fourth method is that divide and rule policy, and giving some reforms and continuing their rule in India, that is called divide and rule policy. Inserted, included in Indian politics by British authorities. That is. Then this way, instead of giving concessions to the Indians, they were dividing the Indian people into Muslims and the Hindus, encouraged the Muslims to go against the Hindus. This was the policy. Now, the moderate phase, 20 years phase, 1885 to 1905, 20 years they worked, all India level, they conducted conferences and submitted their petition to the authorities. In spite of that, they were not given any concessions and not introduced any democratic institutions. So that due to this disappointment, young Indian National Congress members are chosen the method. What type of method? A new method is chosen that is called the militant nationalism. Militant way. Begging way, they will not listening. So that militant way, they wanted to answer to the British authorities and get their demands. That way they choose a militant way. See, growth of militant way, militant nationalism. The first cause is that disappointment. 20 years worked, moderates, chosen the constitutional method. There was no use. Nothing is given by the British authorities to the Indians. So that is the reason they disappointed, disgusted of this method. Thus they chosen the militant method. Militant method means what? What type of militant method means? That method of the Swadeshi, boycott the Swadeshi and boycott, burn foreign and foreign liquor, foreign shops, foreign cloth shops, burning. Bonfiring means burning the cloth in front of liquor shops. The agitation, dharnas, and that way the foreign business or foreign cloth or foreign liquor should not be sold out here. Foreign institutions not to cooperate to the foreign shops, foreign selling shops, and establish national shops, means Indian shops. English, not national education institutions, means Indians education institutions. Thus, this way, Indian education institution boycott the British courts, boycott British everything, adopts Indian, Indian khadi, Indian products, Swadeshi products, boycott burn foreign, and Swaraj, self-confidence, Swaraj. Why we ask the British authorities, give that this? Why don't we ask Swaraj? Swaraj is my birthright, Bal Gangadhar Tilak. Self-confidence. Swaraj is my birthright. Throw his newspapers. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Marathi English paper, Kesari. Marathi paper, Kesari is Marathi paper. Marathi is English paper. That way, the militant nationalism by Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal toured Andhra, Rajamandri College, Gadicharla Arisharottam Rao, and also boycott the foreign, adopt the Swadeshi. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram means salute to our Indian land. Vande Mataram means Mataram. Vande means salute. Mataram. Mataram means our people or our land. Salute to our land. Don't depend on the foreign mercy. That is way. Vande Mataram song became a national song. And thus, this way, the growth of militancy is first one is that dissatisfaction, discontentment of the young educated classes is first. Then at the same time, another one in 1905, Russian Revolution 1905, Bolshevik Menshevik Revolution in Russia. And also in 1905, another one is that Japan defeated Russia. Russia is a European great big country, small Japan, Asian country, defeated the big European elephant-like country. So this is way. Earlier, Britishers are advocating that. What was advocating? White man burden theory. Means white men are so clever. The Dravidian or middle color race or black color people are all the uncultured people. So that white men are taking culturization of these people. So that is called white man burden theory, to continuance of their rule. British authorities propounded a theory of imperialism, continuance of their imperial rule. So that is way. See, during this 1905, one is Russian Revolution, another one is the Japan defeated the Russia, Italy, and attacked on Ethiopia. It failed. So this is this way. So and another way is that these are the causes for the growth of militancy, militant Congress organization. So they wanted to injure British foreign business in India. So that the British goods, Manchester Industries goods were pouring into India, coming to India. Now these are affected because British foreign class is burning. Foreign liquor is in front of those shop dharnas. And that is way Vande Mataram song. And another one is that Lord Curzon came during this period. 1905, Lord Curzon divided the Bengal into two divisions. Why? Bengal into two divisions. So, before that measure, Indian National Congress suggested to the British authorities for administrative convenience, don't divide the Bengal into two divisions. You can separate the Bihar and Orissa separate. They advised. But the Lord Curzon did not listen. The representation of Indian National Congress, moderates, in spite of their representation, Lord Curzon divided the Bengal into two divisions. One is East Bengal, Muslim-dominated area. West Bengal, Hindu, Brahmin-dominated area. So this is way Bengal, by the 1905, Bengal became because Bengal is the headquarters for the British rulers. So Bengal is the headquarter, capital, so that there many educated Indians were emerged. But Muslims are not adopted the English education, so that Muslims are backwarded in English education. But Hindu Brahmins already in the education field, so that the Brahmins adopted the English education and learned the English education. They captured jobs in the government, so that Bengali Babus dominant. Thus, Bengal became a hardcore center to the British. It is like what is? It is like sword. Sword is injecting into the belly, like that. Bengali educated classes working against the British rule. So that is the reason Lord Curzon decided to divide Bengali educated class into two divisions. One is East Bengal, Muslim-dominated area. He wanted to capture the Muslims, to support the British rule. And West Bengal, Hindus were, that way he wanted to separate the core intellectual class of Bengal. And the Hindu educated class separated, Muslim educated classes separated. Then the conflict created in between the Muslim educated classes and the Hindu educated classes. That is the way Lord Curzon is worked. Bengal is divided into two divisions. At that time, Vande Mataram sang, Raksha Bandhan, Rakhi, Ganga, water. And Raksha Bandhan, Muslims and Hindus. Vande Mataram sang. It became very popular. Bankim Chandra Chatterjee written Vande Mataram song. And Jana Gana Mana sang, Vande Mataram song. Vande Mataram became very popular. By listening this Vande Mataram song from the students of the Indian educated students, started singing of this song. And then British authorities frightened, and suppression methods, and then removing the Hindu students or Indian students from education, government educational institution. Rajamundry College, Harisharottam Rao, Harisharottam Rao, removed from the rolls of the college. So that way, many students were removed from the rolls of colleges and beaten, arrested. In spite of that, the song became a national song, Vande Mataram song, Raksha Bandhan, and all Bengalis, East Bengal and West Bengal, all united. Rakhi, Raksha Bandhan performed. Rakhi, Raksha Bandhan performed. Thus, this way, big movement, that militant movement is emerged throughout India. Thus, there was a difference in this moderates, early people, early moderates, mild educated classes, moderates, those are called moderates. Moderates are opposed spreading of the movement all India level and also opposed for the burning, boycott, adopt Swadeshi. This is also, there was differences between the moderates and the extremists. Extremists means young educated class or Balangadar Tilak and Punjab, from Balangadar Tilak from Maharashtra, and from Punjab, Lal Lajpat Rai, Arvind Lal Lajpat Rai and his brother Ajit Singh. From Bengal, Bipin Chandra Pal toured in Andhra, Madras Presidency, Rajahmundry College events at Gadicharla Aricharuttam Rao, removed from the college rolls. So this is militant nationalism touring all India wide. This was propagated. Then British, then what happened when British goods coming to India is affected, business affected. Then business classes of the Europeans urged the British parliamentarian, say, stop, and the one stop the forcing of the Indians. So this is where business classes themselves are represented. 1905 to so this way, 1905, militant nationalism. That's whoever asked as a militant nationalist, whoever participated, those are all arrested. Balangadar Tilak arrested and sent to Mandalay jail for 6 years. And also Lal Lajpat Rai arrested. And Ajit Singh was arrested. Bipin Chandra Pal, all militants are arrested, put behind the bars, put behind the jail, put in the jail, all militant nationalists. However, the movement continued. Movement continued. However, the movement continued by whom? By terrorists. Terrorists means who believed in the bomb cult, who given sentence, imprisonment to the Indian nationalist, Balangadar Tilak and others. So, on them throwing the bombs, killing the British officials, British judges, British officials. That was the way movement after 1909, in spite of the movement, in spite of the all the leaders were arrested, movement continued. Militant nationalist movement by the terrorists, bomb cult, militant national country. Due to this, at last, business was affected. Then, due to this, this British authorities are taking the decision, shifting the capital by 1911, shifting the capital to the Delhi. Earlier, capital of the British rulers was the Calcutta. Bengal was the capital. Calcutta was the headquarters. Now, because of the militant nationalism, our Bengal became a hardcore center to the British anti-British rule. So that is the reason the Britishers are shifted the capital from Bengal to Calcutta to Delhi. Not only that, Bengal was reunited, means East Bengal and West Bengal was restored the unity, and Bihar and Orissa, as earlier suggested by Indian moderates, that we divided for the administrative work. Means these militant nationalists worked. Which purpose they were started the movement? Restoration of Bengal, reunity of Bengal is occurred. Successful. This movement is only movement, national movement, militant national movement is for which it was aimed, that was only successful movement. Restoration of the unity of Bengal is occurred. Capital is shifted from Bengal to Delhi. That way, Vande Mataram movement, successful movement. Then British are affected, British Manchester goods are affected, so that they introduced the Minto March. Satisfy something. See, all the militants, means extremists, were arrested. Bomb users were also put in the jails. So satisfy the moderates who earlier followed the constitutional method. Then there was a division occurred in between the Congress, that is militant nation. 1907, Surat session, Congress is divided into two groups, extremist group and moderate group. Extremist group is Balagangadhar Tilak, leader. Moderate group is Gopalakrishna Gokhale. Two groups. Then all the extremists are arrested and put behind put in the jails. To satisfy the moderates are Gopalakrishna Gokhale moderates. So what was? Congress is divided into two groups, moderate group and extremist group, to satisfy the moderates and to suppress the extremists. All the extremists were pushed into the jails, put up in the jail, arrested and put up in jails. To satisfy the moderates, Minto-Marley reforms. Minto means Governor Viceroy. Marley is the Secretary of State in London, British Cabinet Minister. Minto-Marley reforms are introduced in India. Minto-Marley reforms means the separate electorates for Muslims was introduced in India. Separate electorates were introduced. Communal electorates means where Muslims were contested, Hindus were not eligible to give their vote. Only Muslims used to contest. Muslims only give their vote. That is called separate communal electorate. Was given by Lord Minto and Secretary of State Marley. Why? Muslims given communal electorate and separate electorate? Because to divide the Muslims and Hindus. Minto-Marley reforms are introduced. One side, suppression and repression. Put them who are not listening their words, put all of them into jails, and whoever listening their words, to satisfy them, some reforms are introduced. That is way. First time, Minto-Marley reforms introduced, increased the Indian representation. Indians representation at Governor's Council, at provinces, at states, and at center, Viceroy's Executive Council. Indian representatives, Indian members, parliament members, and assembly members in the council, Governor Council and Viceroy Council, center. At state level, center level, Indian representatives are increased. Muslims were given communal seats. Thus, separatism. Muslims and Hindus are separate in India. They were not. Yeah, they were not united. So give feeling of separatism, communal seats were given to the Muslim. Thus laid the foundation of the division of India here through the Minto-Marley reforms. Minto-Marley reforms. So this way, British authorities encouraged Dhaka Nawab, and Dhaka Nawab, Salimullah and others, Muslims, landlord Muslims of Bangladesh or Dhaka, are encouraged them to form the, what is to form Muslim League Party. What is its form? The Muslim organization, separate Muslim organization. Thus, separate Muslim organization is formed under the landlords, the Dhaka Nawab and others formed a separate Muslim League. 1906, 1909, a separate. They represented to Minto, separate election, represented their petition, submitted their petition to the Minto. Then as their representation listened by Minto and introduced the communal seats for Muslims. So this is laid the foundation of Muslim League. All Muslims are one and Hindus are separate, opposing the Indian National Congress and its demand. Its demand is representative responsible government. Representative responsible government means majority Hindu rule. So that should be opposed. And in that way, Muslim landlords, only few educated, are all formed from Bengal or from Dhaka, a Muslim League Party. 1906, Muslim League Party was founded for the interest of the Muslims only. For the interest of the Muslims only. Indian National Congress is a Congress. What type of Congress? It is secular. So that is the reason. That is why. Now, what was happened? Now, this all extremist leaders were put in the jail. Balagangadhar Tilak was sent to the jail, Andaman jail, for 6 years imprisonment. Then by 1906, 1908, 1906, Muslim League was the Muslim separate party for the protection of Muslim interests against the Hindu interest, against the Indian National Congress, not to cooperate the Indian National Congress and cooperate to the British authorities and get benefits from the British authorities. That was the aim of the Muslim League. Now, Indian National Congress, 1916, Balagangadhar Tilak was released. By that period, Gopalakrishna Gokhale died. Balagangadhar Tilak released from Mandalay jail. There was no stalwart leader. Then Lucknow session reunited all the Congress and Muslim League, all united at Lucknow. 1916, Lucknow session, all united, all Congress, moderates and